Vandami Bante, and good evening, everyone. Good morning for everyone in the West Hemisphere. Welcome to the lesson 17, 7 Ways of Purification, Asubha. I am Edmund. I am the meeting co-host who will be helping Bante and everyone in today's session. May we invite Bante to start the teaching, and may we invite the interpreter, Bante, to start the translation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I will pay homage to the Buddhas by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. So today we are going to talk about Asubha. Also we are going to talk about vipassana meditation and together with the recollection of death. So as everybody know, the Pali word Asubha as vipassana meditation. So now in current situations or in current lifestyles in all over the world, we may not be able to see the dead body easily, but like in Myanmar or in India, we can still see dead body. But anyway, when we are going to practice Asubha meditation, we must have seen the dead body. If we have seen the dead body, it will be easier for us to practice the Asubha meditation. Then at the time of the Buddha, you may have known some story about Anathapindika, very faithful devotees, also great donors in Buddha's teaching. Whenever we talk about Jetavana Monastery, then we also have to know Anathapindika Park or Anathapindika. When he met the Buddha for the first time, he met the Buddha in Rajagaha, one in Gianni, to see his sisters and brother-in-law and niece and nephews. Also, he has business trip. Then, when he trying to visit the Buddha in the early morning, then you may have known the story. He has to he has went through the cemetery. At the time, we have the Pali name Amaka Susana. That means Amaka cemetery. Okay, when we talk about Amaka, it means they throw away the dead body on the China ground without burning, without burying, without making any caves or graveyards. Just throw away. Normally, you can imagine how smelly it will be. It will be very smelly, or the very bad smell. But here, when we are going to talk about Asubha or about the dead body, we also have to know how to go and see it. Actually, there are many other guidance to go and see the dead body. So at the time of the Buddha, we have Amaka Susana, but in modern community, we may not have this kind of cemetery. But anyway, we can see in Myanmar, it's available to see the dead body in the cemetery. We also have special funeral for the bhikkhus. So, when we are going to see the dead body, then we also have to know how many kinds of dead body and how to see it, how to go there. So we must not go downwind of the dead body. If we go downwind, it will be very smelly. That's why we must go upwind. So we must approach dead body upwind. After that, when we are going to see the dead body, we have to know the positions of dead body. Where's his head? Where's his hands? Where's his legs? And so forth. We have to see as much as possible to know it, to remember it in detail. There are many other recommendations to see the dead body. Anyway, when we have seen the dead body, we must be able to visualize it. We must feel it as repulsive. If we feel it repulsive, then we can practice Asubha meditation. Then, when we study Mahasatipatthana Sutta, we can also find 9 types of corpse. But when we study Visuddhimagga and Abhidhamma Sangha, it mentions 10 types of corpse. Now in the picture, you can see 10 types of corpse. So here we have to review one by one. Sorry. The first one is Utu Madaka, the bloated. In the first day of death, the dead body, the corpse, will not be that much decaying or spoiling. We may see somebody is sleeping. Maybe if he is very seriously sick and passed away, maybe he can be skinny, or also maybe some other maybe deformity. The eyes will be maybe like a maybe eye will be closed or opens or something like this. It can be many different. The positions are many different. The types of these postures. Anyway, now the main thing is the bloated is not in the very beginning of death. Maybe some exceptions for some dead body. If they has a lot of spoiling in their body, in their body, then sure, their body will be swelling or maybe bloated. So that means gradually decaying after death. Then they'll be bloated. Maybe 2 days or 3 days after death, maybe. The body will be a little bit swelling, not as normal, as newly dead. So when we can see this kind of dead body, we can also practice Asubha meditation. First try to see this kind of dead body with our eyes open, or go and see in the cemetery or anywhere, in the coffin or just in the open space, anywhere it can be. But try to visualize the dead body. Then if we can visualize it, try to reflect, repulsive, or Asubha, in any way, in Pali or in English or in any other languages. So this is the first types of dead body, swollen or the bloated dead body. Then the next one is Vinilaka, the live. So here, it will be different color. In the dead body, there is different spots of color. You may see some of the around the eyes, it will be like a black color. Maybe the lip will be a little bit pale color. Gradually, it's spoiling. This is called Vinilaka. So mostly it's like it's the normal color, but most of the part will become, maybe some of the part will become the black or the brown color or something like that. Here, if we say Nila, Nila means this is actually black or brown color. We mean many different places, many different spots, many different parts of the body will be a little bit brown or black, start spoiling. So they were more repulsive for us, also more smelly. But now in modern community, not that much smelly because people keep in the ice ice coffin or something like that. So that's why not that much spoiling. If we keep it naturally, it will spoil. Also very smelly. So in this stage also, when we are going to approach that kind of dead body, we must close our nose. Right? If we smell it, I think next day we are not sure we can eat or not. It's very, very terrible. I have experienced that kind of dead body. I have gone to watch when seeing this kind of dead body, very smelly. But as for me, we are very familiar with the dead body, that's why not that much problem. For new meditators, if they go and see that kind of dead body, I don't think they can sleep next day or they can eat next day. So this is also very repulsive dead body, gradually decaying more. And Vipupaka, the festering. So what does it mean really, Vipupaka? This is like a trickling with the past in the body. Maybe some broken places, like an ozone, right? Some of the liquids come out from the mouth, come out from the nose, with some other body parts. Then this is called Vipupaka. But in modern community, it's not very difficult to see this kind of dead body. But when I was in year 2006, I have seen this kind of dead body for the first time in Pautoya Cemetery. One of the Pausiaros Kapia passed away, and around 3 days after death, I'm not sure, 3 days or 4 days after death, they make funeral in Pau Cemetery. I have seen this kind of dead body. Nose already spoiled already. Some of the nose already disappear. So anyway, so this is also very repulsive dead body. So we can also see it, we can feel repulsives. Then again, we have the next one, Vichitaka, the cut up. So the corpse has been opened up and by cutting it into two. Maybe into three also possible. Maybe you may have seen some dead body, maybe they were passed away by accident. Their bodies are cut into 2 pieces, 3 pieces, something like that. It's really very terrible to see this kind of dead body. We are not just we don't have willingness to see that kind of one because it's very terrible, right? We can also we feel pity to that kind of pity for that kind of person. That's why not very desirable to see it. Anyway, when we see it, we must feel repulsive. Then again, we have the next one. Vikayitaka, the gnaw. The gnaws, actually, in modern community also we cannot see that kind of one, that kind of dead body. But in India, maybe they may have, because sometimes they just throw away in the cemetery without burying, without burning, something like that. It will be possible to see that kind of one, the gnaw. The gnaw means it's like a choose or like a cut, like bitten by dogs. It can be jackal, fox, or dogs. So I have said when Anathapindika met the Buddha, he has to go to see the Buddha, going through the cemetery. That one is Amakasusana. They just throw away dead body there. So when we reach, or when we study about Anathapindika, when hearing the dog barking, the wolf howling, then he scared. But one of the Yaka encouraged him to go forward to see the Buddha. Then he could go there. So you can imagine they throw away dead body, many dogs, wolf, jackal, fox, we come and eat, bite here and bite there. So that one is called gnaws. So you can imagine how terrible, how repulsive the dead body will be. Then again, we have Wikitaka, the scatterings. So that means okay, because many dogs or jackals or many other animals will eat the body. Right? And then they were scattered part of body here and there. They were through the body here and there. After eating, they were scattering body. Many different body parts were in many different places, scattering here and there. This is also one type of dead body. Actually, in the picture you can see dogs are biting, right? Cutting. Okay, now we have to go to the next one. Sorry. Hatta Wikitaka. They hacked and scattered. So that one is, as we have mentioned in previous one, the dog will bite and carry here and there, and they will keep there after eating, and they were left there. Then they have many different body parts, will be many different places. So it can be many different forms of biting. Maybe kind of like a cross or maybe like a circle, many different forms of biting. Sometimes there will be maybe only some teeth. The mark of teeth will be in the bone or in the flesh, something like that. Scattering here and there. This also, you can imagine, dead body, repulsiveness of this kind of dead body. So we have the next one, lohitaka, the bleeding. So you can also see, if there's a newly dead body, many dog will bite and eat. We can also see meat with the blood, the blood in the meat or in the bone, something like that. So the blood can be any part of the bone, or maybe if they have some remaining flesh in the bone, they also can be the blood. So we can see the blood in the bone or in the flesh scattering here and there. So these are the 8 types of dead body. Then again, pulavaka, the worm infected. This is like a maggot in the dead body. So sometimes we can also see the worms in the dead body, like a maggot or any other worms in the body after keeping very long time. So if we just bury on another ground, if we like open up again, then we can also see some worms in it. So anyway, the pulavakami, if we just throw away normally, there will be maggots or worms or many other insects, many other worms there. This also can be called pulavaka. Then the last one is atika, is skeleton. So although we say skeleton here, we turn it as a skeleton, but actually, if there's only one bone, it also can be asubha. Although we cannot see whole skeleton, we just see only one bone. It's good enough to practice asubha meditation. So altogether, these are 10 types of dead body, 10 types of corpse. mentioned in Visuddhimagga and Abhidhamma Sangha, also many other texts. But these are the object of meditation. So if there's a dead body, we can go and see it. Then we can try to close our eyes and try to visualize. We have to reflect, or we have to recollect Asubha in Pali, or repulsive in Pali, in English or any other languages. So by practicing Asubha meditation is totally very gross and desirable. That is why we cannot attain very high jhana. We can attain only the first jhana. But one more thing we have to know, if we practice Asubha meditation, we can subside lust or attachment easily. If we have very strong lustful mind, very strong attachment to living things, we can try to practice Asubha meditation. So this is dead body, dead Asubha. Now we also have living Asubha, like 32 body parts. Kotasa meditation. Head hair, body hair, teeth, nails, skins, and so forth. We can practice 32 body parts one by one. 32 body parts is also Asubha. As we can take by practicing dead body, visualizing dead body, we can also practice the 32 body parts meditation, and we can also attain the first jhana. Well, in the case of dead body, so that body must be the object, then we can visualize it, then we can practice Asubha like that. In the case of 32 body parts, we can visualize one by one. Even one object, one body part can be the object of the first jhana. Among the 10, the last one, Atika, the skeleton. Although we say skeleton, but if we can see only one bone, trying to see it, visualize it, then trying to practice Asubha meditation, we can also attain the first jhana. This is dead Asubha. There also can be living Asubha. We also have a few more Asubha here. Living Asubha. Living Asubha can be in our daily life. Wherever we go, wherever we see, it can be living Asubha if we can practice 32 body parts. Moreover, we also have special explanation about living Asubha. They are swelling. If we are not very healthy, maybe some nutrient problem, our body can be swelling. If some of our inner body parts is very terrible, our body can be swelling. So if our body is swelling, or if somebody is swelling, then we can see as Asubha, repulsiveness meditation. This is living Asubha. Again, we have another one, parts. In the 30 body parts, there's also this one, parts. Normally, we may not have parts. If we have some skin disease or other sickness in the body, then we can see the parts. When we see the parts also, they are webby repulsiveness. It's really repulsiveness, right? Very, very clear. We can discern Asubha. We can also practice Asubha meditation. This is also living Asubha. The next one, bleeding. So maybe it can be many different situations. There's some injury in our body. There can be bleeding. If there's some other sickness, there will be bleeding, right? Then if it's scratched, something that because of too much power, we use too much power, there can be bloody. Then we can also see as Asubha. Blood is also one of the 30 body parts. This can be in our daily life. Whenever, especially for a doctor, actually, they have to touch. They have to handle all these issues, right? Swelling or pus or bleeding. And for them, it's very difficult to practice Asubha. Mostly, I don't recommend doctor to practice reversiveness meditation because they are very familiar with reversives. They are also very familiar with dead body, the corpse. That's why I rarely teach the doctor to practice Asubha meditation. The last one is showing teeth, or when you see somebody's teeth, you can see as repulsive. This is also not very easy, right? Then we have one story in that happened in Sri Lanka. One bhikkhu was going to enter into Anuradhapura for alms food. One lady leaves the city quarreling with her husband. On the way, when he saw the bhikkhu, she laughed and she smiled and laughed at him. The bhikkhu, seeing the teeth, he could practice Asubha meditation on the spot. He could also attain the first jhana. He could also practice vipassana. He could attain headship. You can imagine, if we can practice effectively, it can be the foundations of vipassana. We can also attain headship anytime. Okay, the main thing is these four are called living Asubha. As we have dead body, we also have living Asubha. Now, one more thing here we have to study. That one is the recollection of death. When we see the dead body, we can also practice recollection of death. Recollection of death means we must try to see our death just for trial. This is called recollection of death. So for easy understanding, we must replace our body as death. After seeing a dead body, trying to replace ourselves there. So then we can also recollect death. So it can be any kind of dead body. It can be any living beings. If we see dead body, we can replace ourselves there as a dead body. So if we are going to recollect the death, if we are going to practice recollection of death, we can do the same objects. We can visualize the same objects, the same dead body. Only the way we recollect will be different. Yeah, Maraname Bhavesati. Death will take place. So we must definitely die one day, but we are not sure, right? So we must recollect death will take place. Maraname Bhavesati in Pali. We can also use any other languages. The main thing is to remember our death. Again, after that, we have the next one. Jidiniriya. Jidiniriya Upachachesati. The life faculty will be interrupted. So that means our life faculty will be cut off one day. But now we are surviving, we are living. When we pass away, our life faculty will stop. For advanced meditator, that means those who has already practiced Rupa meditation, discerning materiality, they can also try to visualize, try to see their death moment, the life faculty cut off, the time the life faculty cut off. We can also recall it with this passage. The life faculty will be interrupted. Then the third phrase, Maranam, Maranam, death, death. This one is very simple. We're just trying to recall it, death, death, death. Then the last one, Jividame aduan, Maraname duan. Life is uncertain, death is certain. Sure, we are not sure to continue our life, but we must die one day. Our death will be sure in one day. So we can recall it with one of these four phrases, with four formulas. So we can find all these formula in many places. We also have another types of recollections according to Mahasatipatthana Sutta. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, especially in 9th chapter ground, in the very beginning of talk, I have already explained. According to Mahasatipatthana Sutta, we have 9 types of corpse. According to Visuddhimagga or Abhidhamma Sangha, we have 10 types of corpse. So in 9th chapter ground, when you try to review in our daily chants, you may find this body passage, Ayampi Kayo, Ewan Bhav, Ewan Dhammo, Ewan Bhavi, Ewan Anatito, this passage. In every single dead body, in every single corpse, the Buddha used the same passage. That's why when we are going to talk about Maranosati, we also should remember Mahasatipatthana Sutta. When I learned Mahasatipatthana Sutta for the first time, I just thought it was only Asubha meditation. Later, when I see this passage, especially this sentences, Ayampi Kayo, Ewan Dhammo, Ewan Bhavi, Ewan Natito, and realize this is recollection of death. So that means after seeing a dead body, then we can also visualize our own dead body there. Then we can recall it. Ayampi Kayo, Ewan Dhammo. This body too, such is its nature. We can recall it death like that. Then second formula. Ayampi Kayo, Ewan Bhavi. This body too, such is its future. Then the next one. Ayampi Kayo, Ewan Anatito. This body too, such is unavoidable fate. When you go and read in the sutta, you cannot find 3 phrases, it can only 1 phrase. Ayampi Kayo, Ewan Dhammo, Ewan Bhavi, Ewan Anatito. But we can analyze into 3. I mean, there can be 3 phrases to recall it. That's why I cut into 3 pieces. Anyway, when we are going to do recollection of death, we have 2 different methods. One is according to Visuddhimagga and many other texts. Another one is according to Mahasatipatthana Sutta. 2 different types of recollections. Then again here, the benefit of recollection of death. As I have said in Asubha meditation. When we have very strong lustful minds or very strong attachment to living beings, we can do Asubha meditation. We can overcome lustful mind or attachment easily. When we practice death, recollection of death, what will be the benefit? So that means when we have a lot of plans and projects, we can also practice recollection of death. Right now we have a lot of plans, right? Tomorrow I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm not free, I cannot meditate, right? When we have a lot of excuses to meditate, then we can practice recollection of death. So, okay, the main practice here, we have 4 projected meditation taught by the Buddha. So why only 4 projected meditation? Here we have metta. Metta is also special projected meditation for meditators. When we have a lot of worry, a lot of anger, or a lot of fear, we can do metta meditation. Then Buddha-nusati. Sometimes we don't have faith. We don't have faith in 3 trainings, or we don't have faith in the Buddha. We have very less confidence to practice. We can also practice Buddha-nusati. Then again, we have Asubha. When we have a very strong attachment to living things, we can also practice Asubha to overcome attachment. Then finally, Marana-nusati. So when we have very many plans and projects, we can practice recollection of death. These are projected meditations to motivate ourselves, or to have stronger confidence in meditations, or to subside attachment, anger, fear, or to stop a lot of plannings and projecting for our future. If we know we are going to die tomorrow, we can stop planning. We can be intelligent. 5 divine messengers. It will be the last part. Okay, the first divine messenger is newly born baby. Oh. So newly born baby cannot walk, cannot eat, cannot clean himself. It just not only, the baby will know only crying. Whatever then happens, when thirsty, crying, when hungry, crying, when it's a bite, crying, when wet with urine, also crying, defecating, also crying, something like that, right? You just know. That's why the newly born baby also one of the divine messengers. When you have to be reborn as a new life, you have to suffer like this. This is also one of the divine messengers. The second one is a feeble old man. It does not mean normal old man. Sometimes when we are old, we may see many old people, but they can carry their body easily. This is not very terrible for them. They can survive, they can continue their life. But if somebody is extremely old and also cannot carry their body, then we can have sense of urgency when seeing this kind of dead body, this kind of old man. The Buddha himself, seeing an old man, felt sense of urgency and also renounce. So now, actually, when we see very old men also, it can be a sense of urgency. Then also one of the divine messenger for us. Then another one, a very sick man. That means if somebody is very seriously sick, he cannot carry his body, he cannot clean his body, somebody must take care of him or her. This is also one of the divine messenger. So if we have divine messengers, so okay, here it doesn't mean only normal sick man, it just means very seriously sick man. Right? If it's very seriously sick man, it will be divine messenger for us. Now, another one, a prisoner. Actually, some prisoner will be very seriously tortured by some maybe authorized people or some other people like that. Then, when seeing a prisoner also, it can be a divine messenger for us. Then we can also feel sense of urgency. We can also feel sense of urgency when seeing them. Now the last one is a corpse. That's an Asubha we have already mentioned here. Not only that, Asubha also like a death moment, like a death body. We can also recall death. We can also practice Asubha both, right? This is called 5 divine messengers. Okay, may you all be able to practice Buddha teaching, and may you all be able to attain the higher attainments until you can realize the final cessations of suffering, Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yes, this is the first question. This question is related to meditation and behavior. If someone have good meditation, good meditation is not comparable to good behavior. If someone, this questioner feel that a person who has been meditating, the mind should be more kind, more soft, and more humble, and more respectful to others. But why is there someone who has been meditating cannot achieve this behavior? What is actually the problem?
Okay.
For beginners, what should she pay attention in order for her to have even better mind after meditation?
Okay. So sometimes we misunderstand attainment and habits, right? Only the Buddha can eradicate defilements together with his habits and temperaments or hobby. Okay. But for other meditators, even like Sotapanna, Sakarami, Anagami, if they have habits, they cannot change easily. This is normal. For example, like at the time of the Buddha, there's this one bhikkhu, he was very in high class. So, okay, now the main thing is here in the answer, right? Even Arhat, one Arhat, at the time of the Buddha, he was born in high class. Then, whenever he communicates with other people, he was like, hey, a fool, something like that. This habit already. That's why he cannot change. So in your question, we can easily understand if he or she has a habit, only improving meditation cannot change her habits. They must train themselves to change. Okay?
Let me see, the next question is in Samatha Vipassana meditation system. If someone, by discerning the Nama Rupa flow, the Nama Rupa to forward, can one see his own past life in relations to others? Means that can he, by using Nama Rupa methods, to discern his and others people relationships in the past life, not by using Abhinya, but by just Nama Rupa methods. And this is first part of the question. Okay, first part first.
Okay. So actually, in the case of Nama Rupa methods or about dependent origination, we cannot see other people with other people. Yeah? So with Vipassana, we can see only the cause of a relationship and some of his the Vijaya and Jhana seeds, which means knowledge and contact, his practice in the past. We cannot know other relationship. Relationship with other people, right? It's impossible. Okay.
Now, second question is that those who have Pupennivasanusati Abhinyaya, he can see his own past life, but can he know other people's past life by using this Pupennivasanusati Abhinyaya?
Okay. Actually, to see other people's past or something like that is like a Chudupapadanyana, not Pupennivasanusati. Right? with Judupapata Jnana, we can know other people's past lives or future lives or something like that.
For those who have Dipachakus, can you know his future life? Where is he going to be reborn? And also know when he will become an Arahant. And also with this Dipachaku, can he know other people's future life? Where is he going to be reborn? And when these people will become Arahantship? You attain Arahantship.
Actually, future lives are Anagadansa Jnana, not Dipachaku Jnana. This is another type of knowledge. Right? To know other people's future, this is Anagadansa Jnana, not Dipachaku Jnana. So similarly, to know his own future also, it can be Anagadansa Jnana. Right? Dipachaku is just trying to see. What is previous one, like a Chudupapata Jnana also, it kind of Dipachaku Jnana. So they can know other people's, like maybe a cause and relationship. Because of this karma, he was born in there. Because of this karma, he was born in there, something like that. They can also know the past, they can also know the future. This is called Chidupapata Jnana.
And Sādhu, second part of this question is regarding Sotapatti, Sotapanna. According to the, there's one saying, Sotapanna can only have 7 times to be reborn in. It's a human and there are worlds before the final cessation. So these 7 times reborn means from the first life when this person attains Sotapatti Magga or starting from the next life.
Okay. So when we study in the Ratana Sutta, Attama Mari Yandi, right? So that means from this life maybe we can study Padisandi, only 7 Padisandi, not more than that.
Some meditators are able to discern 32 body parts even though they have unable to discern 32 body parts even though they have Anapanasati 4th jhana as the base concentration. Some reported that they can only see bright light and not the body parts. Could Sādhu please explain the reason and how to overcome this stage? How do we differentiate or understand the difference between seeing with open eyes and seeing with our mind? Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
Okay, so sometimes it's too bright. The brightness also make the vision blur, right? That's why if you have very bright lights with 4th jhana, okay, you can go with 3rd jhana. In terms of 3rd jhana, trying to see 32 body parts, it will be possible. So that means, okay, the main thing is that if too bright, you cannot see. Too dim also you cannot see. It depends on the situation. So the last one is seeing with open eyes or seeing with mind. That one is actually when we are going to meditate, we have to close eyes, right? That's why when we are going to see 32 body parts or anything, we must see it with our mind. Similarly, when we are going to see Anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, we must try to see it with our minds, not with eyes. Then follow out Kasina. In the very beginning, we have to see it with open eyes. This is see with eyes. Then later, we have to close our eyes and try to visualize the Kasina object. At the time, see it with minds. Okay?
If a person arises a lot of fear when he sees dead body, is it suitable for him to practice Asubha meditation based on the 10 types of Asubha mentioned? Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
A lot of fear. Okay, you have a lot of fear. This is not suitable object. If you have a lot of fear, metta is a suitable object for you. Okay? If you want to practice Asubha, it should be living Asubha, 32 body parts. Is good enough. Okay?
Vandami Sādhu, in modern society, dead bodies are beautifully decorated with makeup and beautiful clothing. Is it suitable to take such body as an object? Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
Okay, I remember one thing here, right? If you don't have this question, I will forget that one. Okay. one more thing here, when we are going to practice Asubha meditation, we also have to choose our own sex. Be careful with that one. I forgot to talk about that one. So, for example, if female death body, if female is going to practice Asubha meditation, you must choose female death body. If a male is going to practice Asubha meditation, he must choose male death body. This is the one thing. So whether it's decorated or not, it doesn't matter. The main thing is you must feel it's repulsive. In modern community, okay, as you say now, as mentioned here, if very beautifully decorated, you may not feel repulsive, right? You may feel beautiful. You may see it's beautiful. That's why. Okay, for female it will be suitable. Anyway, you can actually you can practice recollection of death in the future. Okay.
For someone who have not practiced samatha meditation, can he directly practice this 4-element meditation? And also, in this way, can he also attain samatha jhana?
Actually, when that kind of meditator practice, without practicing samatha, just go do 4-element meditation, then he can attain only asset concentration. Based on that, he could practice vipassana, is possible. But when he attain mega phala, path and fruition knowledge, his mega phala will associate with the first jhana. Only that thing will be possible. But in the vipassana, you cannot attain any jhana. Okay?
So Susie Forbes asks, when concentrating on dead body I seen before, I imagine myself. I think she means she imagined herself as the dead body and family next to it. Visualize different stage of death. Susie also asks, is visualizing dead body, does it have to include different stages of death, or the stage I have seen, which is up to a few hours after death, only in good? Is that good enough?
Okay. If you can see different stages of death body, is actually better. You may feel more repulsive, right? So if you cannot see also, okay, ideally you can see newly dead body, just fleshly dead body, trying to visualize it, trying to feel repulsive, it's okay, no problem.
Yeah, Vandalisado, if someone cannot practice anapanasati because of tension after practicing anapanasati, is there any other meditation subject that he can practice? He felt that kaya kata sati, he has more preference on kaya kata sati.
Okay, so the main thing is actually if you feel tension around the nose or around the face, that means you have to use a lot of mental energy or a lot of bodily energy to know the breathing. This is the problem. So sometimes if you practice other subject also, it can happen again. So mostly I recommend that kind of meditator to practice like a Buddhanosati or metta meditation like that. After that, when they can feel free and also recover from that kind of tension, I recommend to practice anapanasati again.
Good evening, Bante. This is Back Hoon. I would like to ask 2 questions about this set. First question is about the meditation object. I noticed that when there is a practice object start with the human being, we always start with the same sex. For example, female, the object will start with female, male will start with the male. May I know what is the reason? Is it because to avoid the light or the love of the opposite sex?
Sure. Okay.
So, yeah.
That means, although not in metta also I have already said the same things, right? So if opposite sex, we can have attachment. We can have lustful mind. This is the one thing, right? Even dead body, they give me lustful minds. That's why we don't recommend to practice opposite sex. We just recommend it to practice the same sex. So for about advanced meditator, like Vipassana meditator, they can practice any of dead body, whether same sex or opposite sex, it doesn't matter. For beginner, we just recommend to practice the same sex, okay?
So because nowadays, the society is not only the normal people, the normal married relationship. As we know that there is also lesbian, gay, and so on. So for this kind of people, for them have to practice with the opposite sex, is it?
So for this kind of people, it's very difficult to recommend, right? So usually they may have attachment to the same sex, right? Then we have to ask opposite sex maybe. Right? So far, okay, now in my life as a teacher, I have never met that kind of people who can improve easily. See, there are some lesbians come to meditate, some also homosexuals come to meditate in the monastery, but they can improve easily. So far, I have never experienced teaching very high, like a Asubha or Metta or any other thing like that. Okay?
Okay, understand. For the second question, may not related with the today's teaching title. I'm thinking whether can I ask also regarding the sex issue. Actually, I wonder that why some people born that they cannot accept their current life set. For example, is female. They think that they should not be the female or they should not be the male. They should be the opposite sex. The reason why they cannot accept, is it due to their karma or due to they have the wrong mindset or whatever to cause them have this kind of feeling and thinking and object what they have in this current life.
Okay, so actually we can say only the karma in this case.
Karma.
Right? Only karmas. So actually, although we encourage them to change their mindset, it's impossible. Because they are karma. If their mindset, they can change easily, right? Whole life they cannot change because of karma. If they can change, we cannot say karma. This is their mindset, right?
Okay. Understand. Thanks, Bhante.
Dear Bhante, is there any different purpose and result from repulsiveness in 32 parts and dead corpse meditation? How do we choose to discern corpse meditation? How do we choose to discern the two objects? Means 32 parts of the body and corpse.
Okay, so like a Singapore, right? You cannot see dead body easily. Then if you can practice 32 body parts, you can also feel repulsive. This is quite enough. That means if you can see the dead body, or if you can, it's available for you to see, it will be more effective for you because you actually seeing dead body and seeing 32 body parts will be different feeling, different inspiration, right? Also, for example, like to subside or to substitute that lustful mind, if you see dead body, it will be faster than 32 body parts. If you have habit of practicing 32 body parts, in any situations, you can subside your mind easily. So that means, according to your current conditions or current place, you can choose easier one. Okay?
So I was asking because I have seen dead body at my workplace. So I said what I was doing was at the dead body next to that, I put my body. So he said, and then I put my family, right, which is male and female, both my children and my husband. So he said, I don't need to do that. I can just, I just look at the dead body. I can imagine the dead body. And then I was putting myself next to the dead body. He said, I don't need to do that. I just put myself, after that, I just put myself as a dead body. That's good enough. Then instead of doing the whole family, he said, just do one each time. Yeah. Do I do one each time? Oh, then after that, do I do one person at a time too?
Oh, sure.
Because too much attachment to my stand, so.
You can replace.
Okay. So he's opposite sex. It's okay to do that.
So okay, in this case, if you're trying to see as a repulsiveness, okay, no problem. but not really very good, right? Anyway, currently you can subside, right? You can subside your attachments.
Okay. And then what about the stages, Shimpia? So I was trying to figure out, so I didn't hear about the stages. So the video Shimpia, the other one be the video Shimpia, Pogdari, Guadari, 3 Urari, a Kolu, Giamas, right?
What the other accountable?
Teach him up here.
I don't mean I'm accountable. I don't mean I was solution. You are the one about the dollar on it. The Maria don't see the Yavare. Spoke about the pain of the the Maria Anna Juliana, my Lolo Zero. The Maria Yamakan of Maluda County. You are long on the Tirago County.
Oh, Timma. But you know the video I go, Atuba Bima machine kind of live here.
So, you know, Eraga do what go the Yandiago singing as well. A child long on Luli, go long on Melody.
Oh, that Messara who long on Messama, but not here.
Out there. So, the child long on the other option never do time. In the Gabon, in the Gabon, in the Gabon.
Right, okay.
So, if you just keep the dead body there, you can do Asubha meditation. You don't need to see two dead body. Your dead body and her dead body, right? So in this case of Asubha, you need to do only one thing. That is to see others' dead body. When you are going to practice Mananasati, recollection of death, you might replace your own dead body. These two things will be different, right? Okay.
And then when it's come to the stages of the death, like rotting and like that, do you put yourself into that stages too, or only to the Asubha you to the stages?
You can also do the same. You can also try to visualize yourself decaying gradually, right? Okay.
Dimma. Okay. So is it easier? I do the Asubha first and then put the Marana. Is that become easier? Is that the way to do it?
Sure, it's the way to do it. Sure.
Dimma, yeah.
Dear Bhante, may I know how meditating 32 body parts, how long will it have to discern each body part? Maybe 30 minutes is enough for all 32 parts?
So actually, in the very beginning, you have to take a little bit of time, maybe a few minutes. Everybody only a few minutes, not very long time. When you can see clearly, okay, move to the next body parts. Next body parts like that. Mostly, when I teach meditation like that, I just teach only 5 body parts for the first day. Trying to see 5 body parts is easier, right? Head hair, body hair, teeth, nails, also skins. It's very easy to see because although we trying to see trying to look at the mirror, we can see it. That's why. And just teach 5 body parts, easiest one. So if you can see one by one clearly, then I just recommend another 5, altogether 10, like that. So in your case, if you can see only one body parts, whole day also, okay, no problem as a beginner. If you can see many body parts or 5 body parts, one after another, also okay. If you spend very long time in one body part also, you will get bored. That's fine. So if you can change one to another, it will be easier to continue. So for advanced meditators, we have a recommendation, neither too long nor too short. That means neither too slow nor too fast. So if you descend very fast, we cannot see the body parts clearly. If you descend very slow, we cannot finish the real body parts easily. That's why we must adjust the speed of descent. This is for advanced meditator. So none of this is like unclear body parts. If some body parts very unclear for us, we can skip for the first round. In second round, then we can redo. Then at the time we try the body parts. If you cannot see another body part, so skip the one. This is also possible. Okay, there are some recommendations, some guidance in the Usulimaka and other texts. Okay.
Sādhu, according to Abhidhamma, for any Pandika, and they explain Pandika yogis as LGBT, probably like gay or type of yogis. They cannot attain any jhana or vipassana knowledge in this very life. Is that true, Sādhu? And so how they can practice to overcome this Pandika life?
Actually, although they cannot attain jhana, but they can also attain asset concentration. So for about vipassana, okay, it's possible to practice vipassana. But for about like a megapala or jhana is impossible, because vipassana, the asset concentration, upachara samadhi also can be the foundations of vipassana. That's why it's possible, right?
So when it's come to the 32 parts of the body, I put them into piles, like piles of hair, piles of bones, piles of teeth, piles of, fine hair, all these things. So I was doing piles only. Is that good enough? Like piles of brain, is it good enough, or do I have to see it as a disgusting, like put it into, to see it as disgusting, put the hair into the soup and then see it to make it become disgusting for me?
It's not necessary. You can see only like a part of the body in your body, like head hair in your body, head hair in other people's body is good enough. Okay?
So I don't need to see them as piles of hair, piles of like everyone's thing. No, nothing.
No, like this. You can do some 30 body parts in your body, 30 body parts in other people's body.
I see.
For example, like so for example, we may swallow our saliva, right? But we don't need to swallow other people's saliva. Right? This is
I always put them into the pile or two. Just,
sure.
You don't do that.
I do not just try to see other people's body parts and your body parts. Trying to feel reversible is good enough. Okay?
So just to clarify, the goal is to, because what I was doing was seeing it just as an object, not putting it as my object. Does that make sense? Like, if you see a ball at the store, it's just a ball. It's not my ball with my emotions attached to it. Like, Wally, Zavintuira,
Okay. So okay. In this case, Okay. So one more thing here you have to understand, right? So the purpose of practicing 30 body parts is to feel repulsives. Okay. For example, like in the case of hair, if you don't wash very long time, it will be smelly, right? Something like that. Some repulsive things. It doesn't mean you have attachment. That's why you take care of it. It doesn't mean like this. The main thing is when seeing the body parts, you must feel repulsive. Similarly, other people's head hair, right? So they may also have the same nature. If they don't wash very long time, it will be smelly. There are many different things. Shape, the color, the smell, the location, the telemetry. When seeing all these things, you can feel repulsive. If you can feel one of them, also okay, no problem. Okay. This is the way we have to feel repulsives. It doesn't mean, right? You take care of your hair because you have attachment.
Okay. So the main thing is to have repulsiveness.
That's the nature and then the repulsive.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sādhu. If someone practiced Asubha after he got the sense of repulsiveness of the object, what should he do next in the practice of Asubha?
Actually, in the case of practice of Asubha, if you can feel repulsive, this is good enough. You must practice until you can attain first jhana. This is the way, right? So just maintain the repulsive body parts of the repulsive death body, trying to feel repulsiveness. Then, trying to see repulsive death body, also trying to feel repulsive. After that, you must practice until you can attain the first jhana. Okay?
Okay, then I have a question for Bhante. Following up from the Q&A just now, Sādhu said that we need to close our eye when we practice Anapanasati meditation. So I would like to ask, let's say if somebody is practicing maybe a kasina, white kasina, he sees the white color disc until he can close his eye and the white color disc arise in his mind. So from that, he thinks about the white color, and then that becomes his object of meditation. Is that correct, Sādhu?
Yeah.
So means actually, if you open your eye, the white disc actually arise in the mind door.
Sure.
Okay. What if somebody open the eyes and do like a white kasina, but focusing on the mind door, the white kasina, instead of what he sees on the eye? Can he still do a white kasina that way without closing the eyes?
Actually, okay, when we are practicing kasina in the very beginning, like a Parikrama Bhavana, right? Parikrama state, preliminary stage, we can open eyes, we can see with our open eyes. In the Ogha Nimitta, it must be closed eyes. We must see it with our mind. That's why, anyway, we must close our eyes. Okay?
Okay, noted, Bhante. Thank you. Since no one is having any other questions.
There's another question here in the chat,
okay.
chat room. Sādhu, for those who practice metta bhavana to himself, how to attain upachara samadhi by practicing metta to himself, to own self? If someone practice metta bhavana to own self, to himself, how to attain upachara samadhi?
Actually, in this case, you must try to visualize your own image. Then you must try to really meditate yourself normally. So we also have like a nimitta, right? In metta also we have a nimitta. If you can see yourself as really is, right? Then you can also feel really metta to yourself. Then there will be a sex. If you cannot see your own image, if you cannot maintain your own image as objects, you cannot attain jhana. You cannot attain asset concentration. Okay?
After we can see repulsiveness, we are supposed to see dukkha, anicca, anatta before we can attain jhana. So the question is, do we need to see dukkha, anicca, anatta after seeing repulsiveness to attain jhana?
Actually, in the case of samatha practice, we don't need to do any anicca, dukkha, anatta or any other reflections. We just try to feel is repulsive. Also, we just trying to know as repulsive. That's good enough.
Thank you very much for your teachings today. And thank you, our interpreter Bhante, for the translation. May we invite Bhante to lead us in making aspirations and sharing of merits.
Etawadaja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe devanumodandu sabbe buddhanumodandu sabbe saddhanumodandu sabba sambati siddhiya idam me nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idam me nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idam me nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idam me punyam asawakaya waham hodu idam me punyam nibbanasa pacayo hodu mama punya bhagam sabba sadanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam punya bhagam labantu. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
Thank you, Bhante, and everyone for your time and participation. Till we meet on next Saturday, may all be well and happy. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.